Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
All
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews, the land of the bored. Nick here.
Gabe, Guy Tone Date.
And we are here checking out another trailer reaction. And what else is new? We're a few weeks late to the party, but our man Parth in our live stream for Cricket for Americans, our other YouTube channel, check it out if you like cricket, told us about this trailer, Son of Soil. So we're going to be checking this out. And the only thing I know about it is Kabaddi. Gabe is the expert, the American expert on Kabaddi. So Gabe, share some of your knowledge with us.
Stop it. Listen. Kabaddi, all I know is that it's a cross between like football, I would say, and wrestling. There's like, or dodgeball and wrestling, but expert, not even a little bit. Cricket, I tell you what, I know people, my man Julian that works with me at the MGM, he's like, bro, you know as much cricket as I do. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'll sit with anybody and talk cricket, cousin. But Kabaddi, I'm lost, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to figure out the game. But hey, I'll check it out. I'm excited to see this trailer. You know what? I'm excited for Amazon Prime, man. Amazon Prime is putting some good product out there. I'm telling you, the streaming wars have made people step up their game to the next level, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put out trash anymore. Before it was like, all right, this I guess we're gonna watch this Netflix film because there's nothing else on to watch. No, if not, bro, we got Prime we can go to, Disney Plus, original content now on HBO Max. They got their own shows on there. They're doing two. It's a really good one. The I think it's called Unbecoming or something like that. I just started watching it. I'm telling you, man, it's oof. The streaming wars are just glorious.
It's the best time to be a streaming service that's established like Amazon Prime and Netflix is. And, you know, I probably throw Hulu in there, but it seems like the other two have just put out so much stuff. And it works out because if I am a smaller production company or a smaller movie that we have and we are planning for it to be a wide release, but not so fast, I have Amazon Prime or Netflix I can run to. They can put on there. They can put their whole Amazon original. So it makes it look like they had the whole thing planned this entire time. They are definitely not suffering at this time. And for us, if it wasn't for those streaming services, I mean, imagine where we'd be if we did not have streaming services, right? I mean, where would we be?
Bro, there was a couple months
to talk to our kids or something.
Yeah, I would have had to spend more time with my wife and kids. What's good? What? Bro, there was a couple months there was no live sports, okay? Because everything was shut down. Yep. Literally, no movie theater.
You're watching your table tennis.
No, nothing. Yeah, I was watching table tennis. And you know, bro, if it wasn't for streaming services, man, it would have been rough, cousin. It would have been rough. Listen, could you imagine? This is why Blockbuster went out of business, by the way, because think about it, during the pandemic, you wouldn't have even been able to go and rent movies. You would have been stuck with whatever your library was. Oh, it would have been disgusting. Look at that. That's the justification, right?
But you know what? I would have been like behind a dumpster or something. Like, here's my Blockbuster card. I got to get something, man. Give me something, man. I got to get something. Tell me you have like a Drop Dead Fred or something on your shelves. I need to watch it.
He said Drop Dead Fred.
That's right. And not just that, but I'll give you a quote. Snotface. Go check out that movie. I used to love watching movies as a kid. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and check out Son of Soil. If we have anyone that's still watching this reaction, we appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and check this out. And don't forget the closed captioning. 3, 2, 1. I see Abhishek Bachchan's name. That's cool.
December 4th. So this just came out already.
एक महीने से आपकी टीम जो है एक भी मैच नहीं जीत पाई है।
एक तरफ ऐसी टीम है जिसको अपनी खोई हुई रिदम हासिल करनी
will really be hurting.
इसने गलती किया कैसा जीतेगा यार?
इतना स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन आएगा तुम्हें पता चलेगा फिर नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन में क्या होगा।
जयपुर पिंक पैंथर्स के लिए
पैंथर तो कोमा में पड़ी।
ये सीजन लाइफ एंड डेथ है।
ये सीजन नहीं खेलेगा ना, ये तेरा जिंदगी का लास्ट सीजन है।
बहुत सारी उम्मीदें खत्म होती दिख रही।
Failure is not something nice. Nobody likes to deal with failure. Failure has a nasty way of dealing with you.
Let's go, boys. Let's win.
So wait, are the Bachchans like the owners of this team?
परिवार था एक वो बिखर गया परिवार संभाला नहीं गया
जयपुर आगे जाएगी
कोशिश करेगी
I still believe that this team can win.
इस टीम ने जब पहले 7 मुकाबले खेले थे हम सोच रहे थे और पूछ रहे थे कि हारेंगे तो हारेंगे कैसे और अब हम पूछ रहे हैं कि जीतेंगे तो जीतेंगे कैसे
Be focused. Let's be strong. Let's be aggressive.
हम खेलने के लिए जी जान से उतरेंगे इस बार ये जरूर वादा है
मैच में क्या करेंगे मैंने आपको हमेशा कहा है कि once a panther always a panther इसका मतलब है कि एक बार आप इस परिवार से जुड़ गए हैं हमेशा जुड़े रहेंगे
Wow. So I first thought that was going to be like some kind of, written show or written movie or something like that about Kabaddi. And I saw Abhishek Bachchan, so like, okay, so he's going to play one of the stars in here. But no, it looks like he and his dad either own the team, run the team. He looks like he's a coach, for crying out loud. They are heavily involved in this team. It looks like it's based on a true story. I could be wrong. If not, they're really selling that mock documentary thing situation going on. But a lot of drama. That trailer was fantastic. It definitely gets you in. You got some of the hip-hop music in there. You got them talking about how we're just struggling. We got to find something else. We got to bring this, pride to the family and whatnot. Man, that was not what I was expecting, but that made it very, very interesting looking to me.
It's funny, right? When we first watched the very first Kabaddi a reaction or video, right, that somebody sent us, the first thing I said, I don't understand this sport, but bro, it's a sport. I understand sport. I may not understand the actual sport, but I understand sport, if that makes sense to you, okay? And it's the same thing. I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football, soccer, international football, all right? Cricket, Kabaddi. You sacrifice, bottom line. And in sports, is always winners and losers. And that's why I think Rocky was one of the most revolutionary films, because think about all the films before that, the boxing films and all the sports films. It always ends in a happy story. And, they win the World Series or Raging Bull, they always have the story of the side of the winners. But what happens to the side of the losers? They're still competitors. You all right? They're out there. They're willing. They're putting their bodies on their line. It affects them emotionally. Their families. You're away, and this is the part of sports people don't understand. Listen, everybody who says athletes get paid way too much, you have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, the amount of money that families invest just to get their kids to the point where they can compete at that kind of level is you have no idea. Not to mention, that one family may not have invested the total amount, but think about all the people that don't make it. Only, at least in America, let us know in the comments if it's that way in India and other places, wherever you're from. In America, 1% of athletes become professionals. 1 out of 99% of athletes, guys, 1. And we're not talking about 1% of high school. We're talking about like 1% of college athletes actually move on to become professional athletes. So think about everyone else that invested all that time, all that money, all that blood, sweat, and tears, and failed. It is the ultimate gamble. It's the ultimate sacrifice. You know what I mean? Think about the people who have been maimed on the field before. So for me, I think that this is so interesting, just like to the series of tests was, because it shows you the behind the scenes. To me, from this looked like it was documentary style, unless they just, making a film out of it.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's a documentary about his team.
So if that's the reality of it, I guarantee you, man, you're going to see some injuries there. You're going to see people get cut. That's the toughest thing too, right? Like you ain't cutting it no more. But I've been playing for you for whatever. Sorry, you're not helping. And that's the cold truth of the nature of this business. Now, and maybe it's different in India. Somebody once told us in our channel, everybody in India is an engineer. You're an engineer or doctor, right? That's right. They always want you to go to school. In other words, education is highly sought after and highly encouraged for the kids. That's not the reality here in America, especially with athletes. Just do enough so you can play. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality. I'm an educator, so I make sure that my kids that are athletes, always understand they're student athletes first. But let's be real, Nick. We've heard plenty of arguments. Are athletes, college athletes and Americans, athlete students or student athletes? We know they're athlete students. Let's just be real. And the universities make tons of money off of these kids. So what my point is, those kids that don't move on beyond college, don't get drafted, they're done. Most of them have degrees they can't even use. Basket weaving or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You've sacrificed your life, man. Think about all the people that don't make it. So I'm so excited to see this because it just gets to lets people show. I think the show The Test did it as well. Give these athletes a break, guys, because you have no idea what they invest to be. And I know I'm on my high horse and I'm off on a tangent, but you have no idea the birthdays and the Christmases and the holidays that my son who's in college right now has missed because of baseball and because of track. Or Trey, the one that my son that lives with me right now, how many parties he hasn't been able to go to, or family functions because he had a tournament somewhere. And it's not just them, it's everyone, okay? I'll finish this note off. People hate him, but Alex Rodriguez, remember the story I told you about him? Look it up, guys. It's true. Stop eating sugar at 13 years old because he knew he needed to become a professional athlete and weight was one of his issues. How many of you guys at 13-year-old can make that commitment? I will not eat sugar. The guy did not have a piece of cake. After 13, that was his last. That's just says it all. That's dedication, guys. Nick, sorry, I know it was long-winded, but I get emotional because it's been such a big part of my life. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Whew. All right. So first of all, I'm excited for the show. The show looks, and it's a series. It looks really well made. It looks like it's full of emotion. It looks like it's full of conflict and trying to overcome. I think they were the champions once, and they're trying to return back to that promised land. I think it's interesting that this actor Bachchan is so invested. This is his team, and he's just there, and he's on the field, he's on the court, whatever you want to call it, ready to go. You had mentioned about athletes 1%. That means 99% of it fail. I just want to correct something right there. It's not failing because they still went to college. They got a college degree. They got that team experience. They got experiences and they got different situations that they were exposed to. Some of them met their wives at college or whatever. I mean, there's so many different benefits you get. And even if you don't make it to college and you spend all this time and you sacrifice as a student athlete, there's still a lot of benefits there that the student athlete who gets cut and doesn't have a chance again, doesn't see at that moment, but there's still a whole lot of benefits there. You talk about all the sacrifice and the missed birthdays and this or that. The flip side of that is there's a whole lot of working men and working women. Men and women, I'm thinking about the armed forces. I'm thinking about working in business, and they have to hit their numbers or they're not going to get that bonus. They're not going to get that check, where they have to say goodbye to certain things as they provide for their family. The difference is there's a ceiling at how much I can make at my business job, at my regular job. Athletes, their ceiling is way higher. I used to work at a restaurant, and there was an athlete that came. I won't say his name, but he was an NFL player. He had just signed a over $20 million contract, a huge contract. Came in the restaurant with his wife and 2 kids, spent about $50 on food and drinks, and he gave me like a 15% tip. Okay, I'm not going to get super cheap. I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm just saying that's below what my standard is. I go out with my family. I'm making a fraction of what this guy makes. I go out with my family. I'm putting at least 20, 25% tip because of the appreciation for the people that are serving me and my family some food. That's a small example, but the difference is I am making a fraction of what this guy makes. And when you make that kind of money, yes, there's more sacrifice, there's more this, there's more that. But there are a lot more benefits where you can retire at the age of 35, get a TV career, get this, and you're good to go if you were smart with your money. There's some people that are in their 60s, they're still working. They're working at, grocery stores and whatnot because they didn't have those kind of skills. They're sacrificing too. I don't want to get too much on this tangent or that tangent. I just want to throw it out there. Excited for this show. This thing already dropped 10 days ago. If you've seen it, let us know what you think, because to me, it looks like a very well-made documentary, and I'm curious if, in your guys' opinion, if it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, again, it's one of those things where when you watch documentaries like this, it just shows you behind the screen. You know what I'm saying? And not to make it sound like others don't sacrifice. Absolutely not. That's not what I meant to imply. And I'm one who I'm an educator, and I've always find it fascinating that educators are most valuable positions in society. Okay, think about what makes societies run. I'm talking about on a micro, not macro, but on a micro scale, right? In your city, law enforcement. Okay, your educators, those are people that are two of the most important jobs, your teachers and your police, yet they make less than garbage men. That's just real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so those things I understand. Yes, the military. I always tell people half my family's military. You know what I mean? So, you know, those are sacrifices as well. The thing is that those careers are much more stable when we're talking about education, when we're talking about military, when we're talking about law enforcement, than a career as an athlete, because such a small percentage of them actually make it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you made some good arguments on that side as well. The last thing I will say before I turn it back over to you, Eminem Bachchan, right? He's a beloved figure. He is a beloved figure. Okay, his son, you know, also acts as well. You know, he owns the team, but you saw his son get kind of nasty there in a few scenes, which you're supposed to. I get it. But why would you? I would not want my team being filmed behind the scenes, because you're gonna get a view of it. They're gonna have to cut somebody. It looks like they even cut somebody at some point, right? Because the guy wasn't performing or whatever. So would you do it, Nick? He doesn't need the exposure. He's Eminem Bachchan or whatever. I'm thinking about Hard Knocks. Think about Hard Knocks here in America, which follows NFL teams. Successful teams want no parts of Hard Knocks. They do not want those cameras behind the scenes seeing what happens and exposing, you know, all the stuff that happens and all the turmoil that could cost somebody their jobs. Like, why would you agree to do this, bro?
Okay, so I'm going to say this in a way that it's going to, you might sound like I'm being rude to you or whatever. I'm not trying whatsoever. You are one of the people I know that will share your kids' accomplishments probably more than the average bear. All right. Just about every video, early in Boring Reviews, we'd hear about, you know, soccer royalty and your family, so that you like to share the accomplishments and let people know how awesome your family did in sports, right? Right. To me, this is no different. We got two actors that love the camera. And I don't mean that in a vain way. They love that craft. They love that art. This guy has his own team. This guy wants to show the hard work and the sacrifice, I'm assuming, that it takes to accomplish a goal. And what better format than what I'm used to in my profession, by using the camera and by telling a story and showing people and hopefully inspiring people that if you want something, you got to work hard at it. That would be my response to that. I don't think he's doing it to make fun of the guy who gets cut. But I mean, unfortunately, that's just true life. If you want something so hard, to your point earlier, you got to sacrifice for it. You've got to work. It's not for everybody. So, I mean, that would be my response. But guys,
I agree with you there. I just think it's dangerous. Do you like Hard Knocks? And you guys may not even watch Hard Knocks. Do you like Hard Knocks?
I don't watch it because every other word's an F-bomb. You know how I feel about that word. So I'm being honest. I don't need to see the drama so much and hear this when I'm going to expose myself to all that nonsense.
But all those teams that go on there end up with all kinds of negative publicity, right? Because you find out that the athletes aren't very nice. The coaches aren't very nice. It's a ruthless business. They cut people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think like exposing people to the you know what I mean? Like, that's not a smart business decision. That's what I mean to say.
But let's face it, Hard Knocks is I can't think of the phrase right now, but it's a different type of avenue of show, right? It's a hot mess is what it is. Let's try to get as much, you know, soap opera as possible in it. Right. I don't think this documentary series, I don't think that the Bachchan, and I don't know them, I'm not trying to defend them, this is my opinion. I don't think they're looking for a way just to expose and just to get rich off it and just to be Hard Knocks is like, okay, what's going to be the dumpster fire this year? I mean, who are we going to clown? And I mean, come on, let's be honest, right? I don't think this documentary series is that way, but you never know. You never know. Let us know what you guys think. This is probably the longest reaction we've ever had with the discussion. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time,
we know all things.